Hey everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new Star Wars The Force Awakens 6-inch Black Series Kylo Ren with Starkiller base figure from Hasbro. Now this figure is a Kmart exclusive. It comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've seen with all the other Force Awakens Black Series figures. You've got the black box. You've got the red background, though it is a little bit different because we've got some darker red striping in the back as opposed to just the flat red like we usually see. You've got the Kylo Ren image down in the corner and the name of the character at the bottom. On the side we just have the red and it says Kylo Ren. Normally there's a number here, but because this is an exclusive there's no numbering for it. And then on the back we have a brief bio in multiple languages. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now, as I mentioned, this figure is a Kmart exclusive. However, if you're not able to find this figure at your local Kmart or you don't have a Kmart near you, you may also want to check your local Sears store. I have heard reports of Sears has been carrying this figure. Sears and Kmart are owned by the same company, so it makes sense that both stores would have this exclusive. So again, if you're not able to find it at your Kmart or don't have a Kmart near you, then you may also want to see if you have a Sears store near you, you might want to check there and see if they have it. So this figure, for the most part, is the same figure that we previously got in the first wave of Force Awakens 6-inch figures, with just some minor differences which we'll go over. But before we look at the actual figure, let's first look at the accessories that come with it. Okay, so for the accessories, he comes with a lightsaber similar to what we've seen with the regular Kylo Ren figure, though it is different. Most notably with the blade itself, there's less crackling on it, especially down here near the handle. You can see it's definitely different looking. And then the red on this Kmart exclusive on the blade is a little bit deeper red than on the regular version, at least with mine. And then there's also some differences, some minor differences with the actual hilt. They've painted the red wire that we see on the outside of his hilt in the movie clips and stuff. It has this red wire, and so they've painted that on this Kmart exclusive version that was not included on the regular version. They both have the same little gold metallic tabs up here at the end. The Kmart one has a little more silver highlights on the hilt than the regular version, at least with mine, and they both have the red tips at the end. The figure also comes with an unlit hilt that we did not get with the regular version, and this looks very similar to the lighted version that comes with this figure, only it doesn't have the red blades on it. Okay, and just to note, you know, even though they give you this unlit lightsaber hilt, there's no place to store it on his belt or anything. Now, I don't know where he actually keeps his lightsaber. I haven't seen any images of him where we see where he keeps it. My guess is it's probably somewhere under this cloak, but you can, if you want, since this belt that he wears is a separate piece, you can kind of just slide it underneath there and you can have him basically store it like that. But there's technically not a place to clip on the lightsaber hilt anywhere on this figure. And then finally, he comes with this base. Now, I forgot to mention when we were looking at the packaging to say that the packaging is a little wider on this figure than a regular 6-inch Black Series figure, and that's because it includes this base. The base measures just a little bit over 6.5 inches in length. And the base is just done with this kind of frosted translucent plastic. It's made to look like a snow, the surface of a snow planet. I think this is where Kylo Ren and Finn have their lightsaber duel. Now, I don't know what they call it, the Starkiller base. I don't know why it's called that. For those familiar with your Star Wars history, you'll know that originally the Luke Skywalker character was going to be called Luke Starkiller as opposed to Luke Skywalker. I don't know if that has any reference to why they call this Starkiller. We'll have to wait until the movie comes out, but it is kind of interesting. Now, the base itself, it's just plastic. And it doesn't have pegs. They've actually just put indentations to put the feet, and I'll show you that in a second. Also, you'll notice up here in the corner there's this little indentation. Now, Hasbro has said there's going to be a second exclusive figure released. We don't know exclusive to where or what figure it will be, but it's supposed to come with a connecting base, probably maybe an exclusive version of Finn, I'm guessing. and basically, presumably, this is where you're going to plug in that other base. So basically, the base, like I said, just has the indentations for the feet. So you just stand the figure in there, and the feet and the indentations on the base are measured to fit exactly the Kylo Ren figure. So it fits pretty snug. Your figure's not going to fall over when it, I guess it will if you move it too much, but it's still for the most part pretty snug. Would have probably been better if they had put some pegs in there, but as it is, they did not. So, you don't want to move it too much, but for the most part, it should keep the figure pretty snug in there. And you can even put other figures in there if you want, like a snowtrooper. Now, the snowtrooper feet are a little bit smaller, so they don't fit quite as well, but again, you can still, make it work if you want to. Okay, so for the figure itself, as I mentioned before, this is basically the same figure that we previously got in the first wave of Force Awakens 6-inch figures. However, there are some minor differences. The most notable being that the left hand is different. So on this Kmart exclusive version, they've given you a hand that's more in like a force throwing or force choking pose, as opposed to the one that came with the left hand on the regular version. So that's probably the biggest difference. The other difference is they've done with the paint application. So being this version is in the snow, they've given you some white shading on his boots to look like it's got snow on it, as well as on the bottom of his cloak thing that he wears. So basically, those are the big differences between the regular version and this Kmart exclusive version. There's a little bit difference in the paint applications on the silver belt buckle. A little bit difference with the silver paint applications between the Kmart exclusive version and the regular version. Otherwise, paint applications are exactly the same. The hood piece and everything is the same. It's got this belt that's a separate piece. It's not removable or anything. Same, this back piece is just that kind of vinyl plastic material. Same thing, same sculpting and everything. Hood's the same. Mask is the same. Even it's got the little indentation on the back like we see on the regular version. So, and you can pull it off, the hood off the head just like on the regular version. So the figure stands at about 6.5 inches tall, and again is the same height as the regular version. So articulation on the figure is pretty much the same. There's only one area where it's different, and I'll show you that. But the head is just on a ball joint, so you can look left and right. He doesn't have really no up or down movement on this one, so really just have the up or the left and right movement with the head. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good, and he can rotate his arms pretty good. Even with this plastic cloak piece, it doesn't really limit his rotation there, which is good. Has a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much, and then he's got the swivels at the elbow. Now, this is where the difference is. So on this one hand, he's got the swivel on the wrist, and then the hinge on the wrist for lightsaber holding poses, and that's how it is on the regular version as well. But on this force choking hand that they've given you, this hand is different than the regular one. The hinge is on the on the bottom, so you've got the up and down movement more with that. So basically, the hinge placement on this hand is different than on the regular version. And that's the only difference in articulation. He's got a rotating joint there at the waist under his robes and everything, and then the legs are attached with ball joints. And he can do the splits about that much. He can do his leg forward pretty good. Can't do his leg back very much. That is about as far back as you can get. Has the thigh swivel. Has the double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. And then has the ankle pivot and the up and down movement with the feet. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I like the figure. Is it really worth getting a second Kylo Ren if you already have the Wave 1 regular version? That's a little harder to say. This is definitely kind of a scene-specific type figure with the snow and everything. I do like the base. I think the base is kind of a cool feature. And as I mentioned before, there is going to be a second figure with a connecting base, an unknown second figure. I'm guessing it's probably going to be Finn, but I don't know that for sure. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Luke Skywalker. I doubt it. It's probably going to be Finn, but you never know. But as I said, this is a scene specific. However, I think it's a cool one, and especially if you have like the snowtroopers and stuff, I think this figure will fit in well with those figures. It is a Kmart exclusive, as I mentioned before, though, like I said, if you can't find it at Kmart, you may also want to check your Sears store. We'll have a full gallery of images up at JediInsider.com. There's a link in the description below. And as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.